But now I want him to go from internally rotated position to externally rotated position, making sure he just doesn't go into supination. That's the main substitution. So palpating here, go ahead and do that. Good, then come right down below, try it again. Good, I'm not going to put any pressure on him because this is gravity eliminated, right? I don't have to resist him at all. Okay, try that one. Underneath their arm here. The only difference is I can stabilize in the same spot. I just want him to go up this direction now, in the external. So I can palpate the, what am I palpating? What muscles are we testing? Infraspinatus and teres minor. So I can stabilize either on the scap if you feel like they're too unstable, but preferably off so you're not on top of the muscle. So go ahead and try that. So I'm palpating, go ahead and then back down. So just below the spine of the scap. Then I'm going to go right below that and a little bit more lateral. Go ahead and go up. Good. And now he's going to go up here. I'm going to use like the web here of my thumb, grab his wrist, and just push down. Hold, hold, hold. This is probably like the smallest muscle we've tested so far, so you'll notice you can't push too hard, but part of that is experience. The more you push on it, the more you realize what a 5 feels like, a 4 and 3. So maybe try it on a couple of people. Ready, hold, 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 hold. So that's against gravity, and now come to your right, to the edge. Their humerus will kind of slope off of the table, but if I move him over far enough, then I can put a towel underneath here, and now I can have him go through his motion, because I'm going to do internal and external in this position. So we're doing internal first. So for internal, I can stabilize either between the spine and the scapula, or I can stabilize the scapula if I feel like their scapular stabilizers are not great. So here. And then what I want him to do is I want him to go into internal rotation this direction. So go that direction. We're testing, what muscles are we testing for internal rotation? We got pec major, subscapularis, teres major, and lats. We're only going to palpate the subscap. So I'm stabilizing here. I want to do that motion. I'm going to take my fingers, find axilla. See, okay there? So I'm going to take my fingers and find the axilla, and you're going to go into the backside of axilla and right on the scapula. So I'm stabilizing here, and then go ahead and do that. So when he moves, slide towards me just a little bit, I have you too far over. Good. When he moves, if I'm right here, gotta be careful, right? Because they're gonna come right at you. So you might have to back up just a little bit so I can palpate here. Go there. Or you might go out to the side so that you're clear of their hand. Now, once he does that, when I push, I wanna make sure that I'm still where I started. So now I'm not gonna push from the side or from the top. I'm pushing here. I'm gonna push just proximal to the wrist. So at the distal end of the radius and ulna. So go ahead and hold that there. Hold, 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 and relax. So that's internal rotation. That's against gravity. Now gravity eliminated, I want you to slide over to your right. I'm not going to use the towel anymore. And I'm going to stabilize in the same location. I want him to start in full, what do we do? We're doing internal, right? Mm-hmm. Full external rotation. And he's going to go into internal rotation. So start in full external, and then go all the way into internal. So I'm still going to palpate in the same location. The primary substitution here is they're just gonna pronate. So instead of moving at the glenohumeral joint, they're gonna move at the radial-ulnar joint. That would be the substitution. So you have to watch to make sure they're actually moving at their shoulder and not at the radial-ulnar joint. And obviously I'm not gonna put any pressure on here. Questions on that one?
So where are you palpating?
Palpating subscap still.
Subscap still? Okay.
So on the front side of the scapula. So you have to get in there pretty deep. If you get on the muscle, like on the lats, that's going to push you out of the way. So maybe go into the axilla and then push up towards the ceiling, and then you'll be on the subscap. If you're in the right spot, you'll definitely know it. It's like a big muscle that pushes right into your finger. So if you don't feel that, you're probably not in the right spot. Okay, try that. We'll come around if you have degrees. I'm going to be standing up above him, and he's going to come across this way. So I'm going to stabilize underneath here. So I'm stabilizing here. Find the distal third of the clavicle and just go just inferior to that. So go ahead and come across there, all the way. Good, so that's against gravity. I just have to have him come to this position, so just 90 degrees, so across this way. I don't need to keep going all the way over. Because as I keep going, that's not against gravity anymore. So this is the only portion that's against gravity. So we can do that. I stabilize, I palpate. Now, if he can do that, so he's here, the stabilizing hand is going to stay where it was, and I'm just going to rotate over to the side and grab the distal end of the humerus and just pull towards me. So I'm pulling this way. This is a pretty strong muscle, so I probably could pull him and rotate him. Right? That doesn't mean that he's not a 5. It just means the muscle doesn't give, the rest of his body comes over. Make sense? And then gravity eliminated. So this is very similar to what you just did. Same position. So for horizontal adduction and abduction, I want it at 90 as much as I can. Put this towel underneath here. He's going to be 90 degrees. He's supposed to be here. Sorry, right there. I'm going to have him come across this way on the table. So I'm stabilizing still in the same location. I'm going to palpate in the same location. So now let's go ahead and he comes from neutral right here in the middle, all the way across this way. So he's like half facing the table. If you face the table, sometimes you run out of table at the side. So here he should be supported at 90 and then just come across this way. You guys okay over there? You see right? Okay. So stabilizing here, palpating here. This is gravity eliminated for, really we're just looking at pec major. I have his arm at his side here, and I want him, can you guys see okay? I want him to come up here to 90 degrees again. So this is gravity eliminated. He's laying down now. This hand, I'm stabilizing the shoulder here. Everyone see that okay? Or on this side? I'm stabilizing under here. So your fingertips are on the table. So I'm stabilizing here, and I'm still palpating in the same location. So I'm not going to put any force on him because this is gravity eliminated. So all I want him to do is that I recommend using a towel or talcum powder. No one really has talcum powder around anymore, but use it. The idea is you want to put something between their skin and the table so they don't stick to it. If they're really, really weak, that you want them to be able to slide. So I'm going to stabilize here, palpate here. Can you lift your arm up for me? And then back down. So now I know he can move through full range of motion, gravity eliminated. So what grade would I give? 2, because he can go through full motion. Now, let's say that when he was sitting up, he could go from his side to about 45% of the motion. Now we're going to give him
2 plus.
Good. Let's say that he went all the way up to 55% of the motion, and he could still do full range of motion, gravity eliminated. What would it be?
3 minus.
3 minus. Okay. So we'll go over those with your partner so you can kind of like start thinking about them. Okay. Any questions on this? Head turned away from the side I'm testing. So I'm going to test his right side. Head turned away. I want him far enough over to the left where his elbow is almost touching the table, right? So he's not come this way for me. If he's too far, no, come this way all the way. If he's too far over here, then his arm is hanging down. I don't want that. I want it to be supported by the table as much as I can. So slide to your left. So yeah, that's perfect right there. And I have him 90 degrees of abduction. So from here, I'm going to stabilize over the scapula, ipsilateral scapula. I'm standing in his armpit the whole time. So I'm standing here, and I can palpate the posterior deltoid just on the lateral portion of the humerus proximally. So what I want you to do is I want you to bring your arm up this direction to the ceiling and back down. So go ahead and try that. Good, and back down. Substitutions I'm looking for are, does he rotate? Like he can rotate his whole trunk to do that. But I want him to use, yeah, exactly. Or I just want him to move the glenohumeral joint, that's it. You can see that just up, right there. Other substitution you could do is triceps by extending the elbow and then using his triceps. We don't want that either. Okay, so now I'm here. He's done it against gravity. I've palpated. So now go ahead and bring it up. And I'm just going to go to the distal end of the humerus here and then push straight down towards the table. Again, hold, 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 hold. So it's obviously from what we've been doing, those muscles are stronger. This one's going to be a little weaker. So you'll notice like you can break them a little easier. So just to review, stabilize in the scapula, palpate the posterior deltoid. I want him coming just straight up. I'm going to push straight down towards the table. His head is facing the opposite direction, and the table is kind of like right in the crook of his elbow there. Straight down. His hand is behind him, and his palm is facing up towards the ceiling. So we're testing extension. He's just going to go straight back. So my stabilizing hand is going to go in between the spine and the medial border of the scap. So that's option 1. Option 2, you can put your hand on the scapula if you feel like their scapular stability is not that great, and you might stabilize for them. So I'm either here or here stabilizing. So I'm up over, like I'm near the head of him, I'm not next to him. From here, I want him to take his hand, palm up, and go straight back towards the ceiling, and then back down. Okay, can you do that for me? So we can do it against gravity, so we're good. Now I can palpate teres major, right off, so here's the inferior angle of the scap, just right off of that, so go ahead and try that. And you should feel this pretty significantly right into your fingers. And then for the lats, you're gonna come out further and almost like the backside of the axilla. Try that again. You should feel that pop in your fingers. So just palpate those 2 muscles. Okay, now he's gonna go up again. I want you to hold that there. I'm just gonna turn my body and go here. So my thumb ends up facing up towards his head, and I'm just pushing him down towards the table, like that. So thumb here, down, I'm just gonna go right this direction and push down. Hold, 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 and relax. So now I know he's a 5. If he was a 3, what's that? He would just go through full range. Right? What if he could just do partial range? In this case, I'd give him a 2 because there is a gravity eliminated, but we're not gonna learn it. It's a little too complicated. Okay with that? So stand up on top, stabilize with one hand on the same side between the spine and the scapula, or on the scapula. Palm stays towards the ceiling, raising up here. Palpate 2 different muscles, teres major and the lats. So teres major is going to be right off the scapula, lateral portion, and the lats are more like the backside of the axilla. And then have him do the motion, and then turn, push down this direction. Okay, give it a shot. All the way over to the edge towards me, so that his arm is hanging at the ground. When I have him do the motion, my hand here is on the back, stabilizing. So you should always have a hand stabilizing, because I don't want him to lean back or lean one way or the other. And then this arm, thumb up, I'm going to show him what I want to do. I want you to reach up to the ceiling as high as you can. I'm assessing for how much motion he has. If he has full motion, then I know he should be able to do it. Then when he does that, I'm going to palpate on the anterior side, proximal humerus, right here, and I'm going to have him go ahead and go up to the ceiling and back down. So they do one repetition while you're palpating and you're stabilizing. So I can feel the muscle contracting. Now I'm going to take him to 90 degrees. This is the position I'm going to test him in. The thumb is pointing up. My hand, should it go here? This is answer A or answer B? What do you think?
A.
A. I don't want to cross 2 joints, because if I push here, now I'm testing his elbow as well. So my hand goes here, and then I want him to hold that, and I don't want to sneak up on him, right? So I'm going to tell him, I want you to hold that, I'm going to push on it, and I don't want you to let me beat you, okay? So when I push, I'm pushing straight down. So I don't want you to be here. I don't want you to pull. You want your elbow here, or your forearm, to go straight down towards the floor. So already hold that. Hold, 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 hold. So if the person's taller than you, you might have to be on a stool, or just lower the table down low enough so you can get over the top and push down, always with the same amount of force. So that's against gravity. There's no anti-gravity position for this one, although your book shows them, but we're not going to learn it. So it's just all the way up and back down. If you wanted to do, so let's review that. If you went all the way up and back down, what is he? He did it on his own. What number?
3.
He's a 3. So now let's say if he's a 3, I am going to put him in a position where I can put force on him. I could do 4 and a 5. To do a 2, it's just partial range. Like he can just do a little bit, I give him a 2. If I can just feel a muscle contract, that's a 1. When there's not a gravity eliminated. If there's gravity eliminated, then that will be different. Okay? So if you want to clear your stuff, there's plenty of room in here, so you can put your backpacks and stuff to the side. Get a space around your table, make sure underneath their arm here. The only difference is I can stabilize in the same spot. I just want him to go up this direction now, and external. So I can palpate what am I palpating? What muscles are we testing? Infraspinatus
Infraspinatus,
and
teres minor.
So I can stabilize either on the scap if you feel like they're too unstable, but preferably off so you're not on top of the muscle. So go ahead and try that. So I'm palpating, go ahead and then back down. So just below the spine of the scap. Then I'm going to go right below that and a little bit more lateral. Go ahead and go up. Good. And now he's going to go up here. I'm going to use like the web here of my thumb, grab his wrist, and just push down. Hold, hold, hold. This is probably like the smallest muscle we've tested so far, so you'll notice you can't push too hard, but part of that is experience. Like the more you push on it, the more you realize what a 5 feels like, a 4 and a 3. So maybe try it on a couple of people. Ready, hold, 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 hold. So that's against gravity, and now come to your right. Full range for shoulder abduction in this case is just from 0, so at your side, to 90. That's it. You don't need to go any higher than that. Because you have the palm facing down, it wouldn't actually be in the patient's best interest to keep going because you could just pinch there. So it's only going to go up to 90. That's it. I want to go from start to finish. The middle deltoid, and you're testing supraspinatus as well, but you're only going to palpate middle deltoid. So find humeral head. It's just lateral to the acromion, proximal humerus right here, and go ahead and lift your arm up towards the ceiling and then back down. That's it. Come up again. Now hold that there. Now this hand is going to go straight down towards the floor. Ready? Hold, 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 hold. Keep going and relax. So like he kind of bends a little, right? But he doesn't really break. So we give him full score. So for this one, there is a gravity eliminate. So now come over to the table. And go with your head